The Futurama exhibit was developed by a visionary who was really a theater man. He wasn't particularly a transportation expert. That turned out to be the most popular exhibit at the fair. The popularity of the Futurama exhibit helped to build interest in doing something to improve our highways. And another concept was the Autobahn in Germany. Every American who visited Germany after these highways began opening was totally impressed. We didn't have anything like this in the United States. It was 4-lane highways, high speed, excellent design concepts, but there was a problem. There was no traffic. There was very little traffic because they didn't have cars. Unlike the United States, where under the free enterprise system we had millions of cars, and they were clogging our highways, especially in cities. In Germany, they didn't have that. So Hitler's idea was, we'll build the highways, then we'll create a people car, and then we'll provide the traffic for the highways that we had built. Meanwhile, of course, they were available for military use. And he even commissioned Ferdinand Porsche to develop this people car, which we now know as the Volkswagen.
Believe it or not, we have over a mile of inspectors at the Volkswagen factory. More than 7,000 men who have only one job: to keep an eye on the way Volkswagens are made. And there's no nonsense about them. They reject a Volkswagen, or part of a Volkswagen, for little things you might never even see. And when one of our inspectors says no, it's no. That's why you'll never find so much as a blob of paint or a stitch out of place on a new Volkswagen. An inspector finds it first. Frankly, not every car we make makes it. But any car that gets to the end of that long line of inspectors is a Volkswagen.
The only question was, can't we do this better than the Germans? The engineers who went over, the politicians who went over to Germany and saw it, that's what they all thought. We need something like this for our country.
The clock on the wall. On the 7th day of December 1941, it struck the 11th hour. Every hour after that has been, will be, 0 hour. 48 United States of a free and sovereign America are at war. Every American has his job to do, and the will to do it, and the tools to do it with. Pray God he also has the time. Time, the most vital natural resource of a country at war. Every tick of the clock is time won or lost. Every 60-minute sweep, every 12-hour tour of those relentless hands is turning out carload lots of time for us to use ourselves or to give away to the enemy. So much can be done in a day if Americans will keep their sleeves rolled up
Germany's cities lie in ruins and the hopes of the Nazis lie in the dust. The gutted buildings of the Reich reveal the irresistible power behind the Allied drive, a power that all the vaunted Wehrmacht could not stop. Bismarck's statue frowns upon the shattered wreckage of a Krupp munitions plant, one of the many furnishing tools of war for the Blitzkrieg, Hitler's fast-paced warfare that was stopped cold and flung back in his face, as were these tanks which never left the assembly line. The cleansing fires of war have purged Germany of Nazi power. Let's be sure it never again rises from her ashes.
And at long last, straight from his European triumphs, Ike comes home. Welcoming him to Washington is Mamie, the wife who waited so patiently for her conquering hero. It's a great day for the Eisenhowers of Abilene, Kansas, and the nation's capital puts on the biggest demonstration in its history as 1 million cheering home folks line the historic parade route. The General of the Army expressed his deepest love for his homeland when he said on arrival, "Oh God, it's swell to be back." And his famous grin answered the constant shouts of "Ike!" springing from thousands of throats all along the avenue.
I have taken over the duties of the Chief of Staff of the Army from a great predecessor, and of course, am honored by the selection. But I'm keenly aware that I have taken up this duty at a critical time in the affairs of the nation and of the Army. To win the war, you raised the greatest army in our history. We are now engaged in tearing down that army at an unprecedented rate. At the same time, we have commitments in foreign lands, commitments which require military strength. Those commitments were made in good faith to help solidify the peace that has been so dearly won. Very soon, those two processes will clash. This is your army, and it is your decision as to which course we shall follow.